Hey everybody, Dan and Leslie here from Addicted to the Mouse. You can find us at our podcast twice a week, addictedtothemouse.com, where we talk about all things Disney related, some Universal stuff, and just general family travel. We love to travel.
And if you are needing help planning your next trip, I am a travel agent that specializes in Disney and Universal vacations. You can find me over at Fairy Tale Journeys by Leslie Lowry, and that is on Facebook.
All right, so today we're talking about character dining. We love character dining at Disney World in particular.
And contrary to popular belief by some, you are never too old to hug and get selfies and pictures and autographs from those characters.
I will tell you, however, from personal experience, it is a little awkward to go to character dining by yourself. I accidentally, this was way back when we first started going to Disney World, I had a business trip in Orlando, booked a Tusker House dinner reservation because I didn't know dinner was also character dining, and spent the evening getting flirted with by Daisy and frowned upon by Donald. I got out of there real quick with that one, so it was interesting.
Love triangle.
Know what you're going into.
All right, so one of the biggest things about dining is that you have to book 180 days out, especially with this character dining. Now, granted, you can definitely plan a last minute trip and maybe stumble across some of these, open reservations because somebody's canceled or maybe it's not a very busy day or something, but you cannot bank on it. If you are, definitely positive that you want certain reservations, you've just got to book them at 180 days.
That's right. A couple more rules with character dining in particular. They are always more expensive than normal dining places if you are in that same kind of category of food because they do include the characters. However, they are usually very good uses of dining plan credits because they're so expensive and you can maximize your value per credit. So they are always good use, not always, but they are very oftentimes good uses of dining plan credits. And then also, it's a great place to meet the characters if you don't want to use fast passes or stand in line, or if you just want to maximize your time in the parks with rides. Dining with characters is great because they come to you, and sometimes they even have fast pass photographers there, and you don't even have to use your own camera.
Now, there are many character dining meals across Disney World property, but we are going to mainly talk about our top 5 favorites and then a couple of honorable mentions that we have not been to, but we've heard great things.
So we are going to rank the top 5 character dining experiences in reference to 3 different categories. Number 1 is food quality and selection. Number 2 is location and atmosphere. And number 3 are the characters themselves.
Yes. All right, so the number 1 that we are going to talk about is Chef Mickey's over at Contemporary Resort.
I love Chef Mickey's. This was probably the first character dining experience we have ever done, and we keep going back time and time again. A lot of people think that it's kind of played out, but not us. We love it.
Yeah, and I hear often that people don't enjoy the food that much, but once again, I mean, we've always been pretty satisfied. There are some basic meal items, but if you're a little bit more of an adventurous eater, you have a lot more of a selection as well.
So you can get character dining at Chef Mickey's for breakfast, brunch, and dinner. There are different prices, however. They are all one table service credit. What are the prices?
All right, so for brunch and breakfast, it is $50 for each adult and $33 for each child. Now that's for a child that is age 3 to 9, and that applies throughout the entire video here. And then for dinner, it's $60 per adult and $39 per child.
Okay, so let's talk about food. I rank this thing probably a 3 out of 5 on food just because it's not the best, most unique food dining options. For breakfast, this is when we usually go. You can get your basic items, your Mickey waffles, bacon, sausage, eggs, of course. There's a few kind of different things, like they have fresh salmon slices.
They make some really good grits, though, I have to say. They're always good and creamy.
Good grits. Atmosphere, what do you think?
I would say, atmosphere, I'm probably going to give it more of a, probably closer to a 4. I know some people think that it might be a little bit busy, but I kind of like the energy that's in there. I like how it feels.
I agree. I would say 4 out of 5 for sure. Not only the atmosphere inside the Contemporary, I mean, you got the monorail going by, and they do like the kid parade throughout Chef Mickey's with the characters, and that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
So it is very busy in there, but then outside, you just walk across the parking lot and down the sidewalk, and you're in the Magic Kingdom. So location, 4 out of 5 for sure. And then finally, those characters.
Oh my gosh, I love the characters, especially in their little chef outfits, with Goofy, having his ketchup and mustard spilled on it and everything. This, to me, I think is going to be a 5.
Yeah. You get the Fab 5. We're giving it a 5 out of 5. How can you beat Mickey, Minnie, Pluto, Donald, and Goofy? I don't think you can. They're coming to your table. They've got a handler. Hand them your phone. Get a bunch of pictures taken. Take the selfies. Get them to sign an autograph. It is awesome.
Yes, for sure. All right, so the next one we're going to talk about is Tusker House. Now, I have to say, I love Tusker House, and I'm growing to love it even more. We've always in the past been there for breakfast, and we accidentally ended up there for lunch this last time because we were late, and it's my new favorite. It is amazing.
So let's talk about that food quality first. So I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5. It is awesome. It is another buffet, kind of like Chef Mickey's. So you're gonna get your seat, then you're gonna walk out into the open buffet area and just grab whatever you want. Food for breakfast, I think is probably a 4 out of 5, maybe close to 5, but for sure that lunch is a 5 out of 5. It's got a ton of different African-inspired cuisine items, everything from like a ham carving station to a sustainable fish station to this amazing bread pudding for dessert. You've got hummus and tabbouleh and all kinds of different fun things to eat. And then you also have some safe things for the kids too.
Yeah, I would agree. 5 out of 5 for sure on the food. I love it. Now, we have had some friends go that were not so crazy about the African-inspired food, but there are some basic, items as well that you can get. So
yeah, if you're not an adventurous eater, maybe stick to the Chef Mickey's.
And I mean, who can beat getting bottomless Pog juice? Pog juice is amazing.
Passion, orange, and guava. Good.
All right, so let's talk about price. So this one is a little bit more reasonable. For breakfast, it is $42 per adult and $27 per child. And then for lunch and dinner, it is $55 per adult and $36 per child.
So atmosphere and location. I'm gonna say 4 out of 5 because the inside is themed African, which is kind of cool, but there's nothing really special about it, but the location is awesome. It's right there in the Africa land of Animal Kingdom, right in the heart of everything. That's our favorite little land of Animal Kingdom. So what do you think?
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that, a 4 out of 5. It feels, sometimes I feel like we're like really close to the table next to us, like they've put so many tables in there, and so it kind of gets a little cut in points on that one for me.
And then finally, the characters.
Once again, love the characters. Love the characters in their little safari gear, and so this one you actually get Donald, Daisy, Mickey, and Goofy, and so you don't get the Fab 5, but it's still just a fantastic experience. So I'm gonna definitely give it, I'm probably gonna give it a 4.5, with Chef Mickey's just being a little edge up with the Fab 5.
I'll go 4 out of 5 as well.
Okay. All right, so the next one we are going to talk about is Storybook Dining, and this is a new favorite on our list. Now, when we went, we had a very slow evening, but I have heard that it is not like that all the time, so I think we just happened to be there maybe on a bad night with the service as far as the quickness of everything. But as far as the experience itself, it was incredible. Now, these characters at this dining is going to be all Snow White themed. The entire inside is Snow White themed, and it is you meet Snow White, Grumpy, and Dopey, and then you get to go up and meet the Evil Queen.
So let's talk about food real quick. It is not a buffet, and it is not all you care to enjoy. There's a prefix menu. You do get appetizer, entree, and a dessert with the prefix menu. The standard option really is going to be that prime beef. It is super, super good. Highly recommend that. But they do have other options, chicken and vegetarian options if that's your thing. That prime rib was
superb.
it was awesome. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5. Atmosphere.
I'm gonna say definitely like a 4.5 to 5 out of 5. Like I thought that the theme of kind of feeling like you're in the forest and it was a little darker in there, and the food presentation I feel like is a part of the atmosphere, and that was very, very cool. So I would definitely rank it pretty high there. Now we didn't mention where this was located. It is over at Wilderness Lodge in Artist Point.
So that's what I was gonna say, and that's why I rank it a little bit lower, 3.5 to 4 out of 5, just because it's so hard to get to. The inside is fine, it is themed just great, like Lacey said, but to get to it, you've gotta basically Uber over there or wait around for a bus going through a different location. If you're trying to get from your resort over to Wilderness Lodge, unless you happen to be staying there, it's gonna take a little bit of time or money.
That is an excellent point. Now, as far as price on this one, it is a little bit pricier, but it is a really, really excellent dining credit value because it is only one table service credit. But it is $60 for each adult and $39 for each child.
And then last is that character experience. Leslie touched on it briefly, but I'm gonna give this a 5 out of 5, if for no other reason but because you get to meet the evil queen, and who doesn't love meeting villains, right?
Absolutely, 5 out of 5 for me as well. All right, so the next one is going to be Garden Grill. Now this is over in the Land Pavilion at Epcot. I kind of love this one because of the different nature of it. So it is in a rotating restaurant. It rotates very, very slowly. You barely even notice that you're moving. But while you are rotating, you get to see different scenes in different parts of the Living with the Land ride that is down below. And that's one of our favorite rides, and so it's kind of fun for that piece of it.
So while Storybook Dining was dinner only, Garden Grill is actually every meal, and we love it. We love it for breakfast just because typically when we go to Epcot, we're going to Future World first and making our way back to World Showcase, and that's kind of when we're in the park. Food quality, I give it a 4.5 out of 5. It is really, really good. It is all you care to enjoy, but it is not a buffet. They bring it family style to your table, which is nice. I really like that. There's a couple of standout options here for food. You do get a bowl of like these, maybe not a bowl, a pan of these sticky buns. They're so good. And then also you get this chocolate hazelnut drizzle sauce for your Mickey waffles. So more so, I mean, you can get the syrup too, but this sauce is so good. So I'm saying 4.5 out of 5.
I'm going for the 5 out of 5 just for that hazelnut sauce alone. Like, bring me a tub of that stuff. So
atmosphere, I'm gonna give this thing a 4 out of 5 just because it is, like Leslie said, it is a rotating restaurant, which is really, really cool, but it's right there in the heart of everything. It is right there in the Land Pavilion, above Soarin', which is one of our favorite rides, above Living with the Land, which is another one of our, awkwardly enough, favorite rides. 4.5 out of 5.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Now, the characters that you meet at this dining experience are Chip, Dale, Mickey, and Pluto. And Mickey and Pluto, or Mickey is in his little farmer attire. Chip and Dale are just so much fun. Every time we've been, they just interact with the kids, interact with us, and they're silly and goofy and just, I don't know, they're a couple of my favorite character experiences. So for me, that character experience is gonna be a 5 out of 5.
And how are we on price?
All right, so this is actually one of the more reasonable ones, with it being $42 per adult and $27 per child for breakfast, and $55 per adult and $36 per child for lunch and dinner.
Now about that dinner, again, we've never done dinner just because of the times that we're in Future World and close to Garden Grill, but it is like a farm home-style meal with like mashed potatoes and roast beef and that kind of stuff.
I've heard it's amazing.
Heard it's very good. So can't really speak to that, but if it's anything as good as the breakfast, it's got to be great.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so the last one that we are going to talk about before our honorable mentions is Trattoria al Forno, and this is the Bon Voyage breakfast over there. This is also a new favorite. It was a hit on our last vacation, and I was actually kind of surprised at how much we absolutely loved it.
So this one's breakfast only. It is not all you care to enjoy. You order a la carte. It is one table service meal credit, which is great. Let's start with atmosphere. So I'm gonna give this thing a 3 out of 5 for atmosphere. Now, keep in mind, this is one of my favorite character dining experiences, so this really doesn't really fit, except that it's out of the way of everything. It's at the Boardwalk. So to get to the Boardwalk, if you're not staying there, it's one of those things, again, kind of like Wilderness Lodge. You either got to walk all the way through Epcot, go out the International Gateway, or you got to take an Uber over to the Boardwalk, or you got to hop on a bus like from a theme park and go to one of the Boardwalk resorts. It's kind of a pain. And then inside the restaurant, because this is breakfast only and not dedicated to characters, it's not really themed all that great.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But I would say the character experience is a 5 out of 5 on this one. You get to meet Ariel and Prince Eric, and then Rapunzel and Flynn Rider. And those guys were hilarious. They were so fun. I could hear them talking to several different tables, and they always came up with something different and unique to talk to with the kids at all the different tables.
100% agree, 5 out of 5. And then food, I give it a 5 out of 5.
Oh.
There were some great food options, totally different food options. Aiden and I had a breakfast calzone, which had like eggs and salumi and bacon and some cheese inside of a calzone on top of marinara sauce, which was incredible.
Yes, yeah, and I don't even remember what I had, but it was amazing.
So real quick, what price like?
All right, so this one is $45 per adult and $29 per child for breakfast, and I once again think that this is a tremendous value. So I definitely recommend it.
Absolutely. So those are our top 5. Now we do have 2 honorable mentions just because we have never been to these. They are 2 that we would like to try someday. One is really new and we definitely really want to try it. The other one, maybe you'll understand why we haven't been there yet when we get to it. So first, Topolino's Terrace.
All right, so this one is going to be with Mickey and Minnie and Donald and Daisy, and they are in their little kind of Italian artist outfits, and they are adorable. Now, I think that, just once again, because Donald is my favorite, that this is probably going to rank very high up there on the character experience.
It is breakfast only. It is at the Riviera Resort, which is a little difficult to get to, and we haven't seen it inside. So, sight unseen, just from watching videos and reviews, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 for atmosphere, just because of the location. What do you think?
I don't know, I might give it a 4 just because you can take that gondola. So you really have great access from both Epcot, the Boardwalk area, and Hollywood Studios, as well as many other resorts that are on the gondola. So I probably would bump it up to a 4.
Okay, this is brand new, just opened December 2019. Characters, like Leslie said, got to give it 4.5, 5 out of 5 from the characters. They're great characters, and their outfits look super cute. We haven't tried the food, so we probably shouldn't even rate the food.
No.
But this is definitely one that we want to try as soon as we go back.
Yeah, and price-wise, it is $42 per adult and $27 per child, and that is for a breakfast only. So the characters are only there for breakfast.
Last but not least is Cinderella's Royal Table. Now, we have not tried this for any meal because A, it's super expensive, and B, we have 2 boys, and meeting princesses is not really on the high side of priorities. So we've heard it's great though, a great experience.
Yeah. So as far as price goes, it is $62 per adult and $37 per child for breakfast, and then it bumps up to $75 per adult and $45 per child for lunch and dinner. This is a 2 table service credit meal. It's not really a great value for 2 table services, but it is what it is. It's a very popular experience because you are actually dining inside of Cinderella Castle, and so it's very much in demand because of that.
Again, we haven't been there, but location and atmosphere, I would guess it's a 5 out of 5 just because it's right there in Cinderella Castle. How can you get more Disney than inside Cinderella Castle in the Magic Kingdom? And it looks like a castle inside and it looks like a castle outside. It's got to be 5 out of 5. Food, I've heard was not that great in the past, but it looks like they've come up with some great options, from avocado toast to a caramel apple stuffed French toast that looks amazing. So I think it's got to be higher up. Again, we haven't tried it, so I won't number it. But then characters.
Yeah, the characters, you get to meet several princesses, and they are rotating. It depends on who's there that day, but it is typically Ariel, Cinderella, Aurora, Snow White, and Jasmine. So definitely, if you want to knock out a lot of characters at one time, especially those princesses, this is the place to do it.
All right, so there you have it. Those are our 5 must-do best character dining experiences at Walt Disney World, and the 2 honorable mentions that we haven't tried yet. So let us know in the comments below what you think. think, what your favorite character meals are. Don't forget to like and hit that subscribe button down below. And then check us out at our podcast, addictedthemouse.com, twice a week, every Sunday and Wednesday night.
All right, so until next time.